I think I saw Dr. Henry come in. Bonjour, Dr. Henry. Bonjour.
Bonjour. Comment allez-vous?
Bien, bien, bien. Et vous?
Bah, tout doucement, fatigué, ben, je suis là.
Merci.
Bom dia, Ana.
Bom dia.
Como está? Tudo bem?
Tudo bem?
Ok,
E
obrigado.
você, como está?
Muito bem, muito bem.
I see you know each other, or you just gambling on that Portuguese?
I'm just trying to brag about my little Portuguese.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I love it. I love it. I'm glad somebody in the house knows a little bit of Portuguese. That's the great thing about French Cameroon. Did you learn it in Cameroon before coming here? Because you in school.
I'm learning it here. I'm learning it.
Oh, yeah. Wow, that's amazing.
I speak Italian fluently too.
Okay, good. Good to know, Dr. Henry.
Yeah.
So you speak English, French, Italian, and now you're learning Portuguese.
Spanish.
Spanish.
Douala.
That's amazing.
Wow.
And I plan to move to Brazil someday.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, you know Ana Paula and Archimedes now, so.
There you go. There you go.
Contact.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Good. That's amazing. Good morning, Denise.
Good morning. Hi. Sorry to be a little late.
Yes. I love my West Coasters. You are troopers getting up at 6 a.m. to be here. I just love you for it. Thank you all.
Anything for you.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Denise. Thank you. All right. I think we've given it a little bit more time, so we probably should start. All right, Lisa, I am not sure what I'm doing at this end. I'm playing with the screen, so I keep losing my screens and different things. So if I am a little bit shaky today, just have grace, because it's not always as easy as it looks sometimes. So have grace. So welcome everybody to the Future of Education in Africa. Alisa, will you move to the next slide? So this morning, we will just do a little bit more introductions if more people come in, but those of us that are here, I think most of us know each other. And as I called out name, we had little conversations before we started. I'm going to share a little bit about the purpose. I am going to do a brief presentation simply because I did not have any teams come through with their presentations. So I am going to do a little bit of a presentation based on my nonprofit and some key things that promotes cross-cultural collaboration, just to show all of you how I have engaged in cross-collaboration using my nonprofit. And then Ana Paula and Archimedes are going to speak. We know Ana Paula and Archimedes, we love them. So they're going to speak. I'll introduce them when the time is right. And then we are going to have breakout discussions are going to happen on each, after I speak and after Dr. Archimedes speaks. So Dr. Ana Paula speaks. So the challenge we're having today is that we might not put individuals in the rooms that they need to be, that they had requested to be in. It might just be a break, but please do speak to the interest that you have. Then we're going to reflect back after our discussions, and then we're going to have reminders. Usually at the end of the session, I stay for a little bit just to talk and visit. We'll do that also today for those who would like to stay and visit for a little bit. Next slide, Lisa. So the purpose of our forum is to bring together educators from across the African continent with invested partners from around the globe to both reflect and act around shareable solutions that empower educators into the future. We do this by sharing our stories, reflecting together, and resourcing each other. I always love to share a proverb based on how I visualize what we're doing for the day. And for this year, we had picked a theme, and it's finding shareable solutions through cross-cultural collaborations. We try to have groups work together so that we can build these connections between people from different backgrounds. Our guiding proverbs today is, one finger cannot pick up a stone. Maybe try that at home. And if it still doesn't make sense, email me and I will explain a little bit more. But think on it. African proverbs are not always direct. So you have to think on it. When you think on it, you will see the meaning behind it. So one finger cannot pick up a stone. Next slide. So we have some Google Drives. Lisa will put them in the link. Lisa is helping me today. Thank you so much, Lisa. Lisa is my lifelong friend, and we've known each other forever. And since Jennifer has been busy for a long time now, Lisa has been able to help me out, and I'm very, very grateful for her. So she's helping with the slides, and she will be dropping in some links in the chat box as necessary. While she's doing that, I'm going to share a little bit more about why I picked cross-cultural collaboration this year. I strongly believe that for us to make strides in some of the big challenges that are in education in Africa, we need to work together. And in order to work together, we have to start by testing it within ourselves. Can we work in small teams when we get the opportunity? And then after that, could we therefore build bigger collaborations? So I just want us to constantly think in the mindset that you cannot do it all alone. So that's one of the reasons why I keep really wanting to push the cross collaboration this year. All right, next slide. I think I will take a breather, and then Alisa, will you go to will you exit before we come back? All right, so let me take a breather. Any questions before we continue? All right, if not, I am going to probably just say, since it's a small group this morning and there's not a lot of us, I'm going to just give room to everybody to just introduce themselves briefly and your background so we can know each other before I jump into presentation mode. Anapola, you don't have to do an elaborate introduction, but just tell us a little bit about yourself, just a little bit, not a lot, because we'll do that later.
Hi.
Hello.
I'm Anna. My doctorate this is about education.
Anapola, we cannot hear you very well.
Thank you, Ruth. Oh?
We couldn't hear you well. I don't know whether it's on my end, but could everybody hear Anapola?
I could not hear
this
her.
better now? This,
We can hear you now.
Júlia, agora eu vou precisar da sua ajuda. Eu tenho trabalhado já há alguns anos com robótica educacional e é uma robótica humanizada. E é isso que eu quero hoje trabalhar um pouquinho com vocês.
Can you hear me, guys?
We can hear you. Thank you,
Yeah,
Julie,
okay.
for translating.
So Anna has been working with robotics for a while now, and it's a humanized robotics that she's focused on, and that's what she's going to talk about with us today.
Wonderful. Julie, now that you're there, can you just introduce yourself?
Sure thing. My background is on administration and business in general, but I've been a teacher for a while for teenager and kids, and also for freshmen at college.
Nice to meet you, Julia.
Nice to meet you guys.
Denise, will you do us the honors?
Okay, I'm Denise Calhoun, and Ruth and I graduated together. I was glad to sit next to her. Anyway, I'm a researcher in gerontology, and my focus in my research is on linking communicative interaction to cognitive functioning. And in that regard, I've just launched a 501c3 nonprofit organization, Communicare. And we are right now, Sun Lee is with me with the company. And we're doing a pilot program with communities, assisted living communities. And we are trying to teach them, we want to address social isolation. So we're working on connecting them to technology and doing interactive things with technology, not just learning technology. And so with that, I am also, with my book, I developed a curriculum linking language to cognitive functioning. And with that, I'm trying to, I've got a contract to expand the book with technology and adding another chapter. And so that's about it right now. Thank you.
That's exciting. Congratulations on all these big accomplishments.
Thank you.
Dr. Henry?
Yes, good morning, everyone. My name is Henry Etame. I am from Cameroon. I'm a professional educator. I work with students in high school where I teach biology, AP biology, earth and space science. I'm currently teaching at Inglewood Unified School District. I earned my doctorate in organizational leadership at Pepperdine in 2017. And currently I'm completing my PhD in global leadership at Pepperdine. I enjoy education, and I jumped to the occasion because since I was invited by Dr. Akumbo, and I really enjoy technology. I utilize a lot of the TPAT model in my teaching. And I'm just looking forward to being part of the solution, being part of this great group, these great minds. I see Dr. Carson over there. Hi, Dr. Carson.
Hello.
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 So, yeah, I'm just happy to be here today. And I thank everyone for making the time early this morning to be here with us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
I
so
wanted
much.
to add one thing. Frederick Douglass once said, "It is much easier to build strong children than repair broken men." And that's one of the reasons why I really enjoy teaching in secondary education. I've received several proposals to go teach in college. I may consider that someday, but for now, I really enjoy making a big difference in high school. And that's why I took my summer, started my summer vacation 2 weeks ago, but I decided to teach summer school. So basically, I will not have summer off this summer, but that's okay. As long as I'm making a difference, it's a positive thing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. This is heartwarming. Thank you so much for the work you're doing.
Thank you.
Dr. Carson?
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Dr. Carson, and I received my EDD in 2012 in organizational leadership, and I too am working on my PhD in global leadership and change. And my heart has always been with the Black male. I've often thought that they had a real struggle. And I've been working in high school. I teach English. I'm a substitute teacher. And it was a difficult experience. These children are so very different. But I see it, this experience has brought about a change in maybe my direction. I think there's a lot to do with the parents. And so I'm not sure if I'm going to venture off into that particular aspect of it, but there's so many components to why our children are not learning and why they're not participating or active in their own education. Has a lot to do with respect, self-respect to begin with, and they know nothing of that. But it's like a generational thing. It continues. It's generational factors that continue, and they just keep going and going. We've got to do something. And so I'm looking into changing my perspectives, or not perspectives, but my direction and what I can do to help. And basically that's where I am right now.
That is so wonderful. Thank you, Dr. Carson. I have to agree with you, just based on my recent work. Parents is a very, very, very important factors. You touch on parents, you touch on respect. Those are two things that really stood out in my research. So if you want to talk more, let me know.
Okay.
Thank you. Rosie?
Yes.
Do you hear me?
Good
Would you
morning.
introduce yourself, please?
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Rosie Kaliki. I'm a teacher trainer at the university called the Université Libre de Pays de Calac here in DRC, in the Republic Democratic of Congo. And I'm very happy to be with you. This is like my first time to partake this online teaching. And I will be happy to hear some idea from you. I work in administration, like secretary of the training center of the teachers from the university. Thank you.
It is so wonderful to meet you, Rosie. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks.
We hope you learn a lot too, and we learn from you too. Vincent?
Good day, Dr. Ruth. Good day, everyone. I am Vincent Swardboy, and I'm from Namibia, here in the south, in Southern Africa. It's actually my first time to join Dr. Ruth for this forum, and I'm quite excited. I'm employed as a senior education officer for mathematics. I'm a former teacher. I taught mathematics for high school learners from 2008 up until 2016. And since 2016, I joined the ministry as an education officer up until today. Yeah, I've great interest in teaching mathematics for high school learners, but currently I'm serving in an advisory capacity, advising teachers on how to teach mathematics from primary school up until high school, and also on guiding teachers on how to implement the curriculum for basic education. Currently I'm still studying towards my master's degree through East China Normal University in the People's Republic of China. And I'm quite excited to have joined you, Doctor, and the rest of the people in this forum. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's good to finally meet you. Thank you, Vincent. I value and appreciate you. Thank you. Miracle? You're on mute, Miracle.
Strange, man. Okay, yeah. When I turn on the video, I just thought it automatically turns on my microphone as well. Anyway, yeah. So my name is Miracle Gavo. I'm a doctoral researcher at UCL Institute of Education here in London. And just this month, I've been appointed as a consultant to the EdTech Hub, which advises governments in low middle income countries on technology integration in education. So I've started working on World Bank funded projects in Ghana, Sierra Leone, Kenya, Tanzania, Bangladesh, and then Pakistan as well. So working on World Bank and UNICEF funded projects in these countries, particularly on integrating technology in education.
Congratulations. We love good news on here. We love good news. So congratulations. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, thank
We
you.
wish you a lot of success. And if there is anything any of the members can help with, you know where to come.
Definitely. Definitely.
And please share your knowledge with us. What you learn, share with us.
Exactly.
Kioma, I can never say your name right. So today you're going to help me.
Choma.
Chioma.
I think she's Nigerian. So I don't know.
Right.
She's here to clarify.
She on? Doesn't seem like she's on. Dr. E? Dr. H, Dr. E. Dr. Hamilton, are you on?
I am. I'm kind of I'm in transit, but I'm able to log in right now. I'm out of the country and glad to be with the forum for the time that I can say this afternoon. It was very exciting. And I'm a faculty at Pepperdine University.
Dr. Hamilton is my backbone. He was my chair, Denise's chair. It's like we just love Dr. Hamilton. And this forum, the first meeting I had concerning this forum was with Dr. Hamilton. So thank you, Dr. Hamilton. You know.
Thank you, Ruth.
Did I miss anybody? If so, please will you just jump up? Archimedes, did you speak? There we go.
Hi, everyone. I'm Archimedes, and my background is in physics, and my doctorate is in Internet of the Things to use our technology to learning. Then actually, I work in a company to development technologies for learning and another technologies to agricultural and ambiental monitoring. And then my passion is the spreading the learning about technology to all kids. And I think we can use the technology to improve the quality of life in the world. And I very happy and see everyone here. I thank you.
Thank you so much. We just love Anna Paula and Archimedes. They are both doctors and they have been such strong contributors to the forum. And I just want to thank them for always being here and always bringing valuable knowledge to our participants. One thing that Archimedes did not mention is that he developed this technology to dictate fires before they actually start. So if you're interested in learning more about this technology and maybe getting it in your country, let us know, let Archimedes know. He'll put it up and then you can download the data, you can analyze the data, it can be used for as students. Students can use it to just to learn how to analyze data. So it's a really cool product. And if anybody's interested, let us know. I saw Dr. Crenshaw come in. We're going to go for 3 more minutes, and then I'm going to present. Dr. Crenshaw?
Good. Yes, good morning. How was everyone?
Good.
Good. I'm sorry for the tardiness. This is early in California. I'm happy to be here, and hello to all those I haven't seen in a while with all of the quarantines and what have you. It's a pleasure to be here this morning. I'm in terms of my current status, I'm currently in the process of preparing my RB application to get ready to do my final defense for my dissertation, and that's where I am in my process. So pray for me in that endeavor. So again, happy to see everyone, and Henry, I haven't seen you in quite a while. I'm going to be contacting you. I'm going to need to have some participants for my interview process, and you are a candidate for that. My topic is on sub-Saharan Africa education, higher education, and the problem is that there is a shortage of professors in sub-Saharan Africa universities. And so subsequently, I'm looking at the adoption of virtual technology for professors to teach from the United States into a sub-Saharan Africa university. So my participants are those who have immigrated from sub-Saharan Africa to the United States, currently working in higher education, and or a direct descendant of a sub-Saharan Africa immigrant. So that's where I am now, and again, happy to be here. Looking forward to everyone's presentation, and congratulations to Denise for her capstone. And to Carol, haven't seen you in quite a while. Hope you're progressing in your progress. And to Dr. Hamilton.
Yes.
All right, looking forward to today's presentations.
Thank you so much, Dr. Crenshaw. And I am very excited about your work, and I cannot wait for you to finish and maybe come share it with us. It is a really necessary work that you're doing. So thank you so much, and I look forward to it. You will do great. Just know that you will do great.
Thank you, Ruth. Thank you.
Did I miss anybody? If so, this is your opportunity to speak up.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah, this is Choma. Can you hear me?
Yes, Chuma, there is an echo. There is an echo, but we can hear you. So we would just listen, even though there is an echo. Mm-hmm.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
My name is Choma. Honorable Sandra Choma from Federal Ministry of Education here in Nigeria. I'm an education officer. I work in the Department of Education Support Service Department. I look forward to working with everybody in this group. For now, I'm a graduate of education support. I'm a graduate of BSc, Chemistry Education. Very soon, I would like to have some, I'm working now with Vicent. We have some projects that we are able to put up to. So I can't wait for the presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's nice to finally meet you and put a face to the name.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thank you for beating the challenge of internet and just making sure that you come on.
I have to. So
all right. Am I missing anybody? If not, I would like to jump into the next phase. All right, doesn't look like I'm missing anybody. So Lisa, will you please put up my slides? All right, thank you, everybody. And the reason I'm presenting today is because our two of our teams did not finish their projects on time or have enough collaboration done to be able to present. But it is exciting because I am still going to talk about cross-cultural collaboration, and I'm going to talk about how I have used cross-cultural collaboration in my organization to overcome some vocal challenges that exist in the landscape of business in general and that we have seen in the world lately. Next slide. So Plant a Seed. Plant a Seed is a 501(c) organization in El Segundo dating back to 2001 in Cameroon. The vision is creating opportunities for all, and our mission is turning dreams, hopes and dreams into reality by creating change and opportunity in individual schools and communities across Cameroon and the world through education, sports, clean water, and more. Next slide. So Plant a Seed is, I usually put the Africa in it because they have been an overflow of Plant a Seed organizations. So people are starting to confuse us with other organizations. So if you're looking for Plant a Seed, you have to look for Plant a Seed Africa. So we use a holistic framework that recognizes that problems in organization and societies have varying factors that make them complex. Plant a Seed believes that for education to be effective, factors such as health, economics, access to resources, teachers, and others must be taken into consideration. This is supported by the Wilber integral theory, which states that elements within a system are interconnected. So these elements that I just mentioned are all interconnected. So Plant a Seed usually use a project-based approach, which is the traditional approach, which is the project is suggested by the community or designed by the nonprofit, or we design it and consult with the community before we implement it. Once implementation is completed, we work with the community to make sure that they can sustain the project, and then we usually leave the project to the community. That's how we've worked in the last 10, 15 years. Next slide. Plant a Seed has done the following projects in this same regard and has cross-collaborated with different companies. So this is not all our projects that we've completed, but these are just some of it, and those that we have cross-collaborated with others from the US and within the US and Cameroon. So Plant a Seed offered on your left or right, on your right, Plant a Seed offered a burn victim from Cameroon a reconstructive surgeries worth over $1 million through working with Children's Burn Foundation and Torrance Memorial. The only way we could have done this work is working together with this big organization and smaller organizations also. We provided clean water to a village of about 2,000 people. The village has grown, and the school in which the water project has also grown. And this was done in collaboration with Engineers Without Borders. So these are all US-based organizations. We also provided school materials to over 100 kids a year for the past 10 years in English Cameroon, and only stopped after the war. And this was mostly done through small donations, just individuals partnering with us to get the work done. This is just some of it. And if you want to learn more, go on our website. There will be more information on the stuff that we've done, or just contact me. Next slide. So I mentioned that there's challenges when you're doing any kind of work in the world today. One of our biggest challenges is, I call them wicked problems or vocal problems. And vocal problem basically stands for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. requiring a complex consciousness and agility in addressing them. So these are the type of problems. When I think of VUCA problem, I think of chaos theory, and chaos theory enables an understanding of the complexities facing the organization and how often undervalued issues such as leadership style or culture can lead to unforeseen or negative results for the company. I also think about the Wilber theory, integral theory, which I already touched on a little bit earlier, which addresses the integration and interconnectedness of elements within a system, which could lead to a positive or a negative outcome. So with these in mind, just think about the problems that we have in the world today, or think about the problems that you have in your company today, and as I think about the problems that I have in my organization today. Next, Lisa. So the biggest wicked problem, or the biggest VUCA problem that we've had in the last few years was COVID-19, in the last couple of years, COVID-19. And how has this affected education? Prior to COVID-19, it was a global learning crisis with 617 million children worldwide who lacked literacy and mathematics skills. And during the pandemic, this number increased to 1.6 billion across 165, impacting 87% of the world's school population. So even though it does not mean it increased the global learning crisis by 1.6 million, but 1.6 million were affected negatively. And when we put this in the context of Cameroon, where we mostly do our work, it adds upon a war that has been in English Cameroon since 2016. It just made the whole global impact of the war, more of COVID-19, more impactful for children in English Cameroon, and the problems that our organization is facing in helping, because that was our base, that was where we did most of our work. It really slowed down our work in English Cameroon. Next slide. So the other challenges, so those were the big challenges, right? The big problems that there's no easy solutions to. But there are also other problems that are middle ground problems, such as money, service, culture, or leadership structure. So my company is constantly facing insufficient funding, which makes the work go slower. As a result of this, service in the organization, the people that work, myself, we're constantly giving in kind, cash, emotionally. And these are all the type of struggles that any founder of an organization will go through. So, and then another problem that we face when we try to collaborate cross-culturally is culture. So there's this culture of corruption in Africa, which leads to skepticism among donors, Western donors. So you go to present, I constantly get these questions, how are you using your money, which is common. But sometimes when you get it, you know that it's coming from a place that is very doubtful of the work you're doing. And there's this constant need to build trust among the people that want to support you, between you and the people that want to support you. So this culture of trust is such a big hindrance. With culture of corruption is a big hindrance when it comes to educating people in Africa, or in using nonprofit funds to educate, or getting people to join you and collaborate with you in doing the work you want to do. So there's that constant need to build trust because of this culture. Another struggle that the company has gone through is the leadership and organizational structure. We mostly use volunteers, and the leadership style for many years has been pace setter leadership style, which focuses more on goals, drive, how do we get this done? Because of the short-term projects, we have to push and say, let's get this done, let's get this done. So usually people work really hard, and it's not the worker that is prioritized, it's the project that is prioritized. Next slide. So a path forward. Over my 2 years, my 3 years of Pepperdine, I reflected on leadership, being in a leadership program, and said, okay, how do I restructure? What do I change for the organization? So one of the things that I have leveraged is collective intelligence. And I've leveraged collective intelligence of leaders, change leaders, through their books, through dialogues, through lectures, and even talking to just donors, like, how do I solve some of these problems? How do I overcome the challenges in my company? And as I previously mentioned, partnership is a huge part of the only reason why we are able to be successful as an organization. So in coming back to leveraging collective intelligence, one of the things that we were working on was an online school. And because that was such a big project and a complex project, it did not work out. So COVID-19 did not help it. It made it worse. So the project failed, it didn't pick up. But because that project failed, I decided over the pandemic to start leveraging collective intelligence, talking to Dr. Hamilton, talking to other people, like I previously mentioned, and the online idea of this forum started. So even though the online school idea failed, it's not dead, I promise you. It's not dead, it just failed at that time. I was able to do something different, which is start this forum with Dr. Hamilton, and brought in Jennifer, and now other people helping me like Lisa, and just very grateful that even though it failed, we bounced up. So failure to me is not a condemnation, it's an opportunity to bounce off to something, and leveraging collective intelligence of others will help us bounce off to something else. Next slide. So after leveraging this collective intelligence, what the new leadership strategy? So basically everything right now is more in theory than practice for my organization until I start implementing it. I have decided upon a new leadership strategy, and it addresses the above challenges that I made. And the goal is to build partnerships, create a compensation plan, and shift from that pace-setting leadership style where I focus on only the project to a combination of styles, like come and really emphasize the importance of not thinking that I am a transformational leader alone, I am a visionary alone. It's more of how can you seamlessly switch from one leadership style to the other to make the work that you're doing flow better. So I'm sticking with the pace setting, because to work on projects, you really need that drive. You really need that focus. And in visionary is constantly helping me share the vision with others, see how I can make the vision better so that people can keep working. So you're not just working because Ruth said so, working because you understand the vision. And then looking at transformational leadership in the sense that what are the benefits? How am I taking care of the workers? How are the people that are also working for the company, how are they going to be able to feel like they are not just mules working? How can I be able to also care for the project and for the workers? So those are the three styles I will be jumping around, switching in between. Thanks. for the company in general, I created a different organizational model, thinking about the integral theory that we mentioned before, knowing that chaos is always going to happen, and then also looking at the collective intelligence that I talked about. Collective intelligence here. Who did I leverage to build this new direction for the company? I leveraged Cotter, Senge, and Higgins. And I came up with shared values, forge powerful coalitions, form a vision, format mental models, and frame success systems. Next slide. So what are these? So find shared values with organization. When we talk about cross-cultural collaboration or collaboration in general, it's important to think about the values that the other individual or the other company or the organization that you want to work with have. Do you share the same values? So once I realize that I share the same values with this company, then I have to work to see, okay, how do I build partnerships with this company or very strong and powerful coalitions with this company. Instead of going at a problem alone, we all know how big and complex some of the problems in education in Africa is, or problems in our organization or other situations. We know how complex they are. It is easier to go at it together than to go at it alone. So forge powerful collaborations or coalitions, which is what I did with the Children's Fund Foundation, Torrance Memorial, to get this very huge surgery done, the water project, which was just, I could not tackle those through the organization alone. So I needed partners, and it worked really well. Form a vision that will enable partners to stay focused on the project, and constantly reminding yourself, reminding the coalition about this vision. That's why in the beginning of our sessions, we always tell you why we're here. We're here so you can remember the vision and why we're here. Format mental models by addressing biases and assumptions. So we all have a biases and assumption. When you're working in sub-Saharan Africa, I don't like the word sub-Saharan Africa. Apologize, I love saying Africa. In general, I am very much towards a new mindset that wants to address Africa as Africa and not as sections. So you'll catch me correcting myself. So provide partners with positive messages about the local culture and the local context, because there's a lot of different opinions based on media, based on history, based on past experiences that puts Africa in such a negative light sometimes. So when you're working with people from Africa or from marginalized communities, what are the mental frameworks that we need to format? What is it about our prior knowledge or prior experiences that we need to format in order to successfully work together? And that I didn't face a lot of that with the project with Torrance Memorial and the project with partnering with Torrance Memorial and Children's Foundation. But I had to think about that a lot when I would take teams to Cameroon from the US. I had to think about that a lot and to have conversations around those biases or assumptions. And then the last step is frame success systems or rewards. Remember how I talked about the transformational leader doesn't only, the transformational leader needs to be able to also care about the people. So when framing success systems or reward, I have to think about what are they benefiting? What is my organization benefiting from this coalition? And if there is nothing, is there a place where I could build in that the reward system, which is something I really need to do with my organization moving forward. So theoretically, these are the steps that I am looking forward to establishing for my organization and building the organization in the direction that it needs to go. So thank you so much. And Lisa, I think this is my last slide here. And I really hope that some of the things that I have talked about here can translate to your situation, to your organization, or to somebody else, you know. And I hope that moving forward, if you have any leadership needs, please let me know, because we have the resources in this group to support each other and build partnerships and get the work that is so overwhelming completed without feeling completely overwhelmed. I would like now to put us in groups and just let us discuss on cross collaboration. Lisa, will you put the list of questions up? While Lisa is putting the list of questions up, I am going to attempt to do a breakout room. While I do the breakout room, maybe make a note of the questions and just think on the stuff. Once I finish the breakout rooms, if you have any questions, I will take questions and then we will jump into breakout rooms. Lisa, do you know how to do breakout rooms by any chance? I could take questions while you do breakout rooms.
Yes, I can create the breakout rooms.
Fabulous, thank you. In that way, if anybody have questions, I would love to answer your questions now. Or thoughts. It doesn't have to be a question.
While you were speaking, there was one question that was put in the chat box, and it was just inquiring about the online school and maybe the reasons why that didn't materialize.
So the online school, the reason why it didn't quite work out was that when the war started in English Cameroon, the goal for the online school was to create an alternative education platform for children in English Cameroon. So it wasn't something for adults, it was mostly for teenagers. And then COVID hit. So the school, the location that we had it was a bit tricky because we were in a kind of a war zone. Like English Cameroon, some say it's not a war going on there, but at the same time, it's very unsafe because these children, we already had about 50 kids that were getting the basic skills that will move them to the next level to be able to start leveraging classes online. And then it got really bad and we moved location to another town in French Cameroon at the time, or Francophone Cameroon. And it was still very tricky because even though people had left English Cameroon to that part of the country, it was still hard for them to be able to put their children there because now they were trying to survive in a whole different location. So they were not able to take an extra thing. They were not able to come there, attend the classes, even though we're providing everything, because they wanted to go to the farm and work and feed their families. So that was one big challenge. The other challenge is the constant internet issues. So like today, for example, there is a group that is sitting at a location in English Cameroon that wants to join. They cannot join because 1 minute the internet is good, the next minute the internet is not good. So they basically made a trip and spent all this money to go somewhere where they thought the internet would be great, and they cannot even log on. So these are the challenges that constantly, the access challenges that constantly plague any online education that you want to do in Cameroon. Miracle?
Okay, great. Yes, just on picking up on your last point about the internet connectivity, my experience and then what I've done in the past with challenges of the sort was to use SD cards where I've preloaded the learning materials, learning resources I'll put, and then the lessons that we've created onto this SD cards, and then give them out to be used in feature phones and in smartphones if they have access. And where they had to come together, then they could play on a bigger screen, be it a television where they just plug their USB devices and then play out these videos in a learning center, so all could participate with a facilitator guiding the conversation on the lessons they are watching and then discussing and stuff like that. So I don't know, maybe that might be something I want to consider for the future on how to purpose this thing for use on SD cards and then give them out, or maybe have, so if they've traveled to a center to use the internet and then the internet is not functioning, they could still play the videos and the lessons from these SD cards. Then the other experience is you don't create reading materials, I mean, paper-based reading materials, bulky. It will just be one sheet that contains a very essential things they need to know, and that is handed over to them as part of the notes they take with them, and then serve as a refresher that anytime they want to go back to the big ideas from the lessons they've watched or the discussions they've had, they've had around the topics that you shared with them, they will have this one piece of paper that captures a key learning that you can take with them and then refresh their memories with.
I like that. I like that. Yeah, with that in mind, it's now will be now a matter of if we have a forum like this, maybe one person would go and then record it, and then, or I record it and then they eventually download it and then use it. I think I saw Nicholas. Is that your team? Is that the team from DOC? Just nod your head if that's the team, or you can put on the sound and say yes or no. Nicholas, can you hear me? I can see all of you. Could you just let me know if you're the team from DOC? Can you hear us? That's okay. If you can hear us, that's fine. If not, you could also use the chat box to let us know that you can hear us. And if you cannot hear us, then this will be recorded. I see you nodding, so I believe you can hear us. If the bandwidth is a problem, you can feel free to close your video, to turn off your video, and then it might lower the bandwidth. That way you can hear us better. But welcome. Any other questions? Thank you so much, Miracle, for that. And I think I will be talking to you more, given that you're the technology consultant. Is that okay?
I mean, absolutely. I actually had a question for you about volunteering to go to Cameroon on the next episode here. So yeah, we can have some more discussions around how we could leverage technology, particular education technology, in what you're doing.
Awesome. I love that. Thank you so much. I love it. Okay. Any more questions? All right. I think Lisa has our groups ready and she's going to put us in groups, and we will go ahead and answer those questions and then come back and share them with each other.
So you should see your invitation to join the breakout room, and you can go ahead and join. And I've put your discussion questions in the chat box.
So just click on join when you see your name. Any group that you see your name in, just click on join.
And should I assign Anna Paula to a group?
Yes, You can assign Anapola with Archimedes and Julie in a group too. So,
Oh,
or just one of them, one or the other.
Curriculum.
If Anapola and Julie are in the same group, that's good. Archimedes can survive on his own.
Okay. I think they're together on one participant. So I put them in room 1 and I invited Julia also to join with them, room 1.
Right, great.
I don't know if Dr. Hamilton has the opportunity to join his group, which leaves one room with only 2 people. Would you want me to send someone else, or do you want to join a room?
You could send someone else, or that's fine. I will be bouncing around. So 2 people in the room is not too bad. Who are the 2 people in the room?
Dr. Crenshaw and Kim Welch are in room 3.
I think they are strong. They can survive, and I will jump in.
Okay, great. Do you want a timer going for the breakout time?
Yes, let's go for at least 20 minutes, and unless we feel like people, I will be bouncing around also. If I feel like people are already like people are not they exhausted the topic, then we will just jump back on.
Okay. I should just assign Nicholas to room 3. And
yes.
I think maybe he has 2 like profiles open, but I don't think he's stable connection. So it looks like he's not able to join.
Right.
Okay.
And I think this is their first time, so it might be a bit tricky for them. Well, hopefully they joined. I see that they're not there anymore. So, all right, great. I'm going to join room. Was that 3 you said I was having?
Yeah, room 3 has Dr. Crenshaw, Kim Welch, and maybe Nicholas is now there.
Right. Okay, cool. Or unless they logged off. So let me join that room and see what is happening. I think the other groups are just closing down and people will start trickling in a minute. Miracle, I think you put a link on in the other when we were in the group. I don't know if it appeared in the other groups. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. We always never have enough time for breakout rooms. So for this 3-year anniversary, this is your gift. You get to talk yourself out of your brains. So we make sure we give you a lot of time to just have conversations. So usually it's like 10 minutes, so we're rushing and people can't finish. I'm excited that we had a lot of time to talk. Not sure if everybody's back, but we should be all back by now. Will everybody just maybe nominate somebody from their group to share what you discussed? Maybe give us an overview of what you discussed in your groups.
I nominate Henry, Dr. Henry. You were cut off abruptly, and so maybe you want to continue that too, that particular message.
I nominate Miracle.
Okay.
We nominate Miracle. We nominate.
Okay, thanks for the honor.
Oh, my
Who are you nominating? Or they'll figure it out. Go ahead, Dr. Crenshaw. Or don't. Henry, were you the one talking?
No, I was just making sure my mic is on. It was
Yes.
off.
I think you can go ahead while the last group figure out who they would like to represent them.
All right, great. First of all, I'm very delighted to be here today, be around so many great minds. And I can't have a better wake-up call in the morning than today, 6 o'clock on a Saturday. You know, my wife goes hiking every Saturday morning, and I told her I'm never going to go with you because Saturday is the only day I don't get to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So, but I woke up today, right? And so let's give kudos to Dr. Akumbo, right? He woke me up. All right. So yeah, we went over great discussion. First, I would like to say as educators, as we are lifelong learners, because the best way to learn is to teach. When you teach, you don't stop learning. And we talked about collaboration. We talked about the last question that we were trying to go over was how to incentivize, in a sense, how to incentivize without incentivizing that child who doesn't want to listen in class. Well, we tend to use extrinsic reward a lot in life. So my strategy is to use intrinsic reward. That's what I call the social emotional aspect of education, making the child understanding why. Why are they learning the purpose of education in the first place? Because a lot of kids come to school, they don't even know why. They will ask you, why do I need math? I was just telling one student the other day, I was teaching about the coordinates, like a month ago, I was teaching about the coordinates. So I gave them a flying path of an airplane. And I told them, okay, how does an airplane go from Los Angeles to Paris? Now, having learned about the latitude and longitude, they understand how pilots program their flight path to get from point A to point B. That's the purpose of education. That's the purpose. So we have to make it practical. A lot of books sometimes don't make it practical. We have to draw into that part of education to educate kids. Second thing that I really wanted to share was about how to draw this child in. First 2 weeks of school, you don't teach curriculum. You teach them how to behave. You build relationships, individual relationships, because kids are different. Every child is different. Every child learns differently. There are those that are mathematical, those that are visual, and so forth. There are 7 intelligences and learning styles. And you have to be able to integrate every child to one or more learning styles. That's the only way you can teach them. Build relationships. Know your student individually by name. So I go to the bank, and every time I go to the bank, this teller, she calls me Dr. Itame because I gave her my business card. So I realized at some point that I wasn't remembering her name every day. So 2 days ago, I went to the bank before I went to her, and I made sure I'm going to her. Before I went to the office here in Culver City. I asked the lady, one of the directors, to remind me her name. He's like, okay, her name is Shamari. So when I got like, hi, Dr. Itami, I said, hey, Shamari. She's like, oh, you remember my name? I said, of course. That's how it is. That's what it is. Build that relationship. That's what can get you to the next level of collaboration. When kids believe and feel that they are accepted, they are loved, they will collaborate. And when they collaborate, they will learn. That's my little story, and I'm sticking to it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We like the story. Anybody else from your group want to add? Is there something that was missing?
No, I can just add, I mean, I'm not teaching young children anymore. I'm teaching, adults from 74 to 94, right? So, and what Dr. Henry just said, I've always believed in learning their names. Like I can't even imagine how I could remember, like before, like we have orientation and, as we're having orientation, I'm trying to, in my mind, consciously trying to remember everybody's name. So when the kids come in and they know that you know their name, and you don't say, hey, what are you doing? You say, hey, Dr. Henry, what are you doing over there? And they know, and that's the same thing. That effect works for when I'm teaching the older adults, and we only have like 10 in our group because we can't handle, too many, learning technology. But I made it a point to learn every person's name when we interviewed them with a survey. And when I came in, I could say, hey, Gil. So I remember that, you were into computers. That was his job, but it was with the big ones with all these wires and things. He had IBM 407 and he wanted to share it. But when you can build those relationships and make connections, it's amazing what you can do. You can teach them anything and they just love it, right? Because they know that you have their interests at heart. So that's all I want to add. It works with older adults too.
Thank you for sharing that. That's amazing. Thank you. I never really put into context that you were teaching 74 through 90. So that is a very unique and interesting a lesson that I've learned today. Congratulations on that.
Just one little thing to add to what Denise just said. So the difference between pedagogy, which is teaching little kids, and andragogy, which is teaching adults, is that adults want to be there. Children don't want to be there. We're here because we want to be here today.
True,
Kids want to come to school in the morning, they don't want to come to school. So you have to build that interest. That's all I wanted to add.
Wonderful, wonderful. Wow. Yes, thank you. Next group.
I guess that's going to be our group then, presenting. So our group had a discussion on the curriculum, and basic thing we came about was we should probably start looking at curriculum from the value perspective and how we build curriculum that promotes values other than just raw content knowledge in the subject specific areas. And Dr. Herin also probably touched on some of the things we discussed, being how do we create value and reward sensitivity in our communities. So the people need to know about the value and reward of education and why we need education to expand, to grow, and then to build communities that would foster collaboration, creative thinking, innovation, and development around us. Talking about the values, we highlighted one issues of self-respect, accountability, integrity, responsibility, honesty. And these are some of the things we can even start learning from home before we even touch school. And we need to build a curriculum that enhances the home knowledge and then build in that home knowledge the subject expertise we want people to have. So for example, they come to school and they want to learn physics. Yes, it's all good, you want to learn physics and then be able to talk about all the nanotechnologies in there. But if they don't have self-respect, if they don't have honesty, integrity, all of this will come to naught because they will have then used the subject knowledge again for things that does not foster community growth, that does not foster peace and security within our communities, because then the things that build the communality we all enjoy, the harmony we all enjoy in our system is because the values we bring from the home. And one of our members shared the experience of teaching kids who abuse teachers. And then I was like, okay, not in my country, Ghana, of course. And I'm sure majority of us coming from Africa would understand that it's because some of these traditional values that we have, that we learn from home. You cannot go to school to learn a subject like math, physics, and not exhibit these values within your school system. There's no way an African child will abuse the teacher. It's not going to happen. It's like, it's just taboo kind of thinking to have. Now, but then again, if we have experienced these things, how are we integrating that in the development of our curriculum such that the school system also builds off on this and then train the right caliber of the new generation we want to have? we shared also in the group how we need to look at governments making intentional efforts that in teacher training, they bring that same energy of value system that these teachers will learn to share with their kids and then build upon the value systems that we have in our communities. So there's teacher training component that we also have to look at, and then how we prepare our teachers to handle the new generation. One of them being, if you're going to use technology in our education system, are we preparing our teachers for the next generation of technologies that will come up, and then how again do our values play into the new adoption of this new insights that we bring to the fore. I would call on my two colleagues, Carol and Vincent. If you have further to share, please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you for the opportunity. I want to bring forward the aspect which was mentioned by Dr. Ruth as well, where she asked, what are the benefits of cross-cultural collaboration? I don't know, doctor, should I answer this one now? Okay. My answer towards that question was, what are the benefits of cross-cultural collaboration? And my answer to that question was, if one looks at the benefits of cross-cultural collaborations, one can match the successes and the challenges that we are encountering in our cultures, and one can also look at how we can overcome the challenges that we are experiencing or that we are facing in our cultures. That is the benefit that one can have if we study cross-cultural collaborations. That was my contribution. Thank you, colleagues.
At this point, I just want to add, in that cross-cultural, I think it would be beneficial for parents and teachers to build a cross-cultural. I think that parents would then understand what teachers are up against and how they could better serve their students and their families and their communities with that relationship between teachers and parents. I think that would be a good one. Thank you.
Just to add on to what Carol just said, Carol mentioned only two aspects, which is the teachers and the parents, but we should not forget to add also the society which is serving, that the learner will be serving in the future. So I just want to add on to. So
I did mention community. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Community. Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I was sharing with this team that based on the conversations that they have, they are going to be excited once I publish my dissertation, because it covers a lot of these things that they're talking about. And I was tempted to share it now, but I'm like, no, not today, because I want it published and make it available, and so that it will be available for people to read before I start sharing it. But it's really covers the things that you're saying, and I'm very excited about the work that I did. Usually I do a lot of things, but I'm really excited. I'm excited to see that the thinking here is aligning with the work that I did. Our last group, Dr. Crenshaw, Kim.
Yes, that was our group, and it was Kim and I, also Nicholas and Godfrey, but we could not hear from because of their lack of connection. But we had a general conversation in and around the questions, and I'd like for Kim to also chime in on this. But looking at the questions, there's several benefits of cross-cultural collaboration from a sense of understanding the essence of the lived experiences of the participants, and to get a better understanding of culture from a university collaborative process with the student as well as with the teachers. But our conversations were more general, some of the issues that are in and around the connectability, which is oftentimes a disconnect where there's a lack of infrastructure in a lot of the African areas for the students to actually connect. But also we looked at some issues that will solve that with the ability to go in with devices where they can actually go in and download the material and then reconnect from a mobile device. Kim, would you like to elaborate on that?
Sure, I can elaborate on that. So there are places, different countries. So Ghana has their own unique way of doing this, and there are others who have found a way. So they basically get devices where they can download parts of the internet or maybe a learning management system and load things onto that device. And then that device can be brought to little hubs of learning spaces anywhere. And anyone with a good smartphone can then download the learning information from that device, even if there is no internet connection in that area. And they can work on those things and then bring it back to that device and upload it again. That device can then be connected with the bigger internet and it goes into the bigger online sphere. So that's that piece. When it comes to collaboration, so we work a lot with collaborations between institutions in different countries where they end up sharing. We have really strong institutions that I work with who have great tech teams. I teach people to teach online and they have great online systems and things. And so they share with the ones who maybe don't have the strengths in that area. And they're able to pull them up by, teaching them how they got their tech team together, how they got their instructional design teams together, things like that. So these cross-cultural collaborations are really helping the stronger become even stronger because now they're teaching others, and then the weaker to be pulled up by these stronger members of our institution. So it's been a great collaboration with what I work with. And just going back, I work with the MasterCard Foundation. We have about 10 institutions across Africa that we work with to collaborate on e-learning and online learning efforts.
Thank you, Kim. The other question was in terms of the benefits of cross-cultural collaborative efforts. And there's a lot of benefits in that, again, from a global society that we all live in terms of a sense of understanding. Okay, anything else, Kim?
No, I think that's great. Thank you.
Okay,
Andre.
Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kim.
Anybody else wants to chip in anything before we move to the next phase? Well, I don't see Anapola. Oh, I see them. They're here. All right. If there's nothing else, going once, going twice, going 3 times. All right. So, Lisa, will you put up the next few slides? Thank you so much. These were very rich discussions. We haven't had rich discussions in a while because we're always running out of time. So this time around, I made sure that we allocate enough time to just have real deep conversations. I will now introduce our workshop lead for today, and it's Dr. Anapola. So Dr. Anapola will be talking about programming and robotics activities for classroom. Dr. Anapola G. Luciano is the director of area education. She holds a PhD in science and mathematics from the Maringa State University. She also holds a master's degree in science and mathematics and a bachelor's degree in physics from the same university, Maringa State University. She is the director of area education, which is applied educational robotics and advice. Dr. Anapola also works in the ProMode extension project, which is a physics show. She is highly skilled physics and educational robotics teacher and an expert in the Arduino platform. So today, Dr. Anapola is going to, with the help of her husband, Dr. Archimedes, Dr. Archimedes, they are going to work. All right, I don't know when my recording paused, but thank you, Lisa, for letting me know it paused. So I think we're recording again. So we will jump in. Dr. Anapola, thank you so much for giving us your time and your expertise and bringing us some skills today. Like we talk a lot about theory and things that we could try in the classroom, but we've never really been hands-on. So Dr. Anapola, thank you for helping us get our hands dirty. I'm not sure if anybody downloaded any of the things that she wanted to make the project work. If not, that's fine. Follow along. When you get the video, get the stuff and try it at home. This is one of the things that you say, try it at home. Over to you, Dr. Anapola. We're having a little bit of a sound issue.
Oh, no? Okay.
It's like we hear you, but it's very low.
Okay.
A little better.
Better?
Yes.
Better?
Yes.
Okay. Primeiramente, eu quero agradecer ao convite. É uma honra muito grande para mim estar com todos aqui. São pessoas que eu admiro muito e que eu tenho um carinho muito grande e que estamos todos buscando mecanismos para que a gente consiga mudar uma partezinha do planeta, mas por meio da educação. Então, para mim é uma alegria muito grande. Muito obrigada.
And Anna is thanking everyone for being here. She admires most of like the people that she knows were here, their background and such. And she said that most of us here are trying to make a change in the world, like each of us trying in a tiny part of it. She's very thankful for being here on this group for this discussion.
Eu preparei algo para vocês bem mão na massa mesmo, para apresentar possibilidades. Mas antes eu vou explicar um pouquinho o formato que eu acredito que a robótica ela funcione, que nós desenvolvi no meu doutorado, que é a robótica humanizada, onde a gente tem o aluno e o professor no centro dessa construção de conhecimento, porque muito me preocupa quando a gente se torna muito tecnicista e a gente coloca em primeiro lugar a técnica, né? Então, a ideia não é fazer com que os alunos saiam simplesmente programadores. Até podemos ter programadores e tudo mais. Contudo, é que a gente possibilite um empoderamento dos nossos alunos para que eles se tornem um cidadão mais bem informado, para que ele consiga estar nessa sociedade inserido realmente.
She did prepare something very hands-on for this workshop, but first of all, she's going to explain how to make this work. It's something she studied on her doctorate, humanized robotics, where students and teachers are on the center of these studies, and the students and teachers don't focus only on the technical areas. Sometimes they might learn, how to be programmers and such, but first of all, they need to feel and to know that they can be powerful in order to become a better citizen in our society.
Piaget, ele aponta que nós temos a matemática, de um lado, onde a gente tem total abstração, e de um outro lado nós temos a biologia, onde a gente tem total experimentação. Devido a isso, a gente encontra tanta dificuldade com os nossos alunos na compreensão da matemática, porque a abstração ela é muito grande.
Ana, a parte da bio é a da
biologia,
matemática no abstrato e a biologia.
E a biologia na experimentação, para Piaget.
Piaget shows us that we have math on the abstract side, and on the other side, we have bio on the experimental side. Faltou alguma coisa, Ana?
Faltou? Ok. Se nós tornarmos tecnicista o ensino da robótica, somente ensinando a programação, a gente vai voltar lá na década de 50, onde a gente tinha Skinner trazendo a máquina de ensinar crianças.
If we go back and teach robotics, only the technical part, we are gonna go back to the 50s when we have Skinner and the more technical teaching of kids as if they were machines.
Então, a minha proposta é que nós possamos empoderar as crianças, empoderar os alunos, para que, por meio da robótica, eles possam trabalhar um ensino interdisciplinar.
So Anna's proposal is to empower kids and students so that using robotics, they can learn in multidisciplinary modules, in like a multidisciplines way of teaching and learning.
Com o Covid, as crianças e os adolescentes eles estão retornando muito mais inseguros, e isso é natural, a gente observar isso, essa insegurança. Então, nós trabalharmos esse empoderamento, ele é fundamental para a sala de aula. Esse empoderamento que vai possibilitar darmos passos para uma melhor aprendizagem.
So with COVID, kids and teens got even more insecure, what would be natural. So working on them feeling empowered is a very big part and very important for education.
Então, um exemplo para a gente pensar em sala de aula é a culinária, né? Quem aqui gosta de cozinhar? Bom, se não gosta de cozinhar, gosta de comer, né? Acredito que todos.
Well, a good example for a classroom should be cooking. Who doesn't like cooking or maybe eating?
Quando a gente vai cozinhar algo, a gente envolve toda de forma interdisciplinar todo o conhecimento. Então, a química, que é necessária para o cozimento dos alimentos, a física, a biologia e, principalmente, a cultura que está envolvida em cada construção do alimento. Então, hoje, por exemplo, nós estamos em culturas diferentes. Então, no Brasil, a gente tem um tipo de culinária, no Quênia, outro tipo de culinária, e assim por diante.
When we cook something, we involve a lot of knowledge in many areas, such as chemics, physics, bio, and mainly the cultural on how to cook and even what to cook. Today here, we are in a multicultural group. So each country has their own typical food and their own way of cooking.
Então, é trazer isso para a sala de aula. Então, a robótica, ela é um caminho para a gente estar seguindo. Contudo, ela não é o nosso objetivo final. Ela é apenas um caminho. Como o quadro que nós escrevemos para os nossos alunos, os slides que nós usamos, tudo isso são caminhos. Eles não são um objeto final.
So bringing this to the classroom, robotics could be a way or a path of how to do something, such like a tool, as we have the board and extra materials, as a way of getting something done, not as the final objective.
Bom, o que eu vou propor para vocês hoje, a gente utiliza a plataforma Arduino. Por quê? Porque o Arduino, ele colabora no sentido de ser um software e um hardware livre. Então, o acesso das pessoas, ele é muito maior.
So the proposal is to use Arduino because it's collaborative, it's free software to be used, which makes the access more, feasible, makes it more possible for people to use it.
Bom, então eu vou passar para o Arquimedes mostrar um pouquinho para vocês o que é o Arduino, para alguém que não conheça, para entender um pouquinho o hardware e um pouquinho do software. E a gente vai dar seguimento já com a mão na massa, hands-on.
Archimedes is going to show us how Arduino works, the hardware and also the software. And then from there, we go to the hands-on part of the workshop.
Hello. We're starting today basically components, and I talk about two platforms, the FFEA and Arduino. It's a systems for coding the microcontroller. Then I can share my screen.
Do you need a different, are you on a different computer? Do you need me to give you the co-host?
Okay. Then, okay, my screen is sharing now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Then the starting with the Arduino. The Arduino platform has two parts, hardware and a software. Then the hardware, we have a lot of the models. Then we can use this model, or we can use this model or this model. It's really have a lot of types, and we can use different types of boards, but the results is the same. And for coding, we use a software named to Arduino. Then what the great character, the great features of this system, we can power the system using 5 volts or a USB port, but we can use batteries or cells to turn on the Arduino, and we can make a lot of experiences for all sciences using the Arduino. We can control the systems or take the information, get the information of the world using sensors. But the great thing, we can construct with the students the sensors. Then the Arduino ports, the pinout of the board is permits a great of possibilities of the configuration. Then we have 14 pins for input or output digital. Using these pins, we can trigger an experiment or blink a light or turn on the motors. And in another side of the board, we have analog pins. Then we use the analog pins to measure the electrical parameters. Then we can measure the conductivity for of the water, for example, and we can use these analog pins to measure the position of the object, or we can measure the humidity of the soil. Then the possibilities is very, very great. The IDE, or the integrated development environment, is the software where we can coding the programs, but usually we don't call the programs in Arduino how programs, but we call sketches. Then because it's very it's not a great program. I show soon the code. Then understanding the IDE, we can see the first button is to check the code. Then we put the code in the section for free text. Then on time coding is typed. We can verify the code, and the next issue is upload the code. When you upload the code is converted to microcontroller, then the code don't more work on the computer, but work in this board. Then we can make a robot and using batteries. For example, this robot is completely mobile and free of the computer. And another very important button is the 6. This button opens the window that shows the being transmitted between the computer and Arduino board, because we can take the information of the physical world and processing this information for the computer take decisions according to physically change. We're ready for fun. Then the first code. The first code is the minimal code, or the minimal program. We use two functions. The void function, void setup function, is a function executed just on the booting system. Then the Arduino power on in the first time the void setup runs for configuring this system. Then in the void setup, we can put the code for set up the sensors and actuators, and the void loop is really the code repeatedly on a cycle. Then we can put on setup that means, and in the loop the functions are executed repeatedly. Then I need to measure the intensity of light. Then I put the function to read this information on void loop. I show an example for this. Oh, okay. Ana Paula bring to me a LED. Oh, vou usar aquela câmera. I need to change my camera. I stop share. Oh. No. Okay. This Arduino, it's a LED, diode, light emission diode. Then he has 2 pins. We put the more larger pin on the digital output. I put on the 9, for example, and the more shorter pin on GND. Okay. Then now I use the printer cable. USB, and Arduino. Oh, não vocês. Sorry, I need change the Arduino because não. Desculpa, amor. Traz aquele lá de volta. E I now the LED yellow is off. Then I share my screen. Then this on screen we can see the code and if I put this code void setup pin mode on the pod,
Júlia, agora eu vou precisar da tua ajuda. É importante a gente compreender que para quando os alunos eles estão iniciando, a gente sempre iniciar com a programação em blocos, como tá sendo apresentado, para eles entenderem a construção de uma programação, para não ficar de uma forma abstrata, como eu disse lá de Piaget.
It's important that when the students are starting on this, on robotics, we use the blocking programs, which is the example we have on the left, instead of the code itself, in order to make it more feasible for them and not so abstract as the code itself.
E aí, assim, nós estamos apresentando a parte técnica, né, de utilizar o Arduino. Com a questão do conteúdo de STEAM, aí vai além, vai do que o professor gostaria de trabalhar, desde o aluno muito pequeno até o aluno do ensino médio.
This technical part that's being shown right now is it's possible to measure on how deep and how technical the teacher wants to be, since the very young kids until high school.
Então, por exemplo, a cor amarela para high school, né? A decomposição de cores, como é feito um LED, o que é o LED, qual é essa relação do LED com as lâmpadas e iluminação que nós temos nas ruas, em casa, coisas assim.
So, for example, it's possible to use color decomposition. It's possible to talk about LED and how it works and how it works in our day-to-day life, like the lights we have on the street and so on and so forth.
E com as crianças menores, o que é a luz, né? O sol que nos ilumina, qual a importância do sol para o crescimento das plantas, a importância da luz na nossa vida, no nosso cotidiano.
For little kids, it would be possible to work, for example, what what is light and give as example the sun and why it's important, and work on our electricity, the story, how it helps us in our life.
E a gente pode ir até além também com os estudantes, né? O custo da energia elétrica, o quanto a gente paga, qual o percentual da população em cada país, né? No nosso país, no caso, que não tem energia elétrica na sua casa, o porquê que não tem.
And we can also go further with our students on this, analyzing the cost of electricity, analyzing the percentage of people in our countries who don't have access to electricity, and the reason why they don't have it. So there are many aspects that can be worked on in our classrooms.
Ok, agora o Arquimedes vai continuar mostrando aqui a programação.
Archimedes is going to
Yep.
go back on the technical part, guys.
Okay, I'm returning. I share a scratch for Arduino. For we start the desktop share. Júlia, vocês estão vendo a tela do Scratch com os blocos?
Uhum.
Ah, ok.
Aquela que as crianças vão, que o pessoal vai arrastando, né, para poder montar a programação.
Exato.
Uhum.
Ok. Oh, then, como a Ana Paula disse, vou precisar da sua ajuda, Júlia. Como a Ana Paula disse, começamos sempre com uma ferramenta de blocos, antes de ir para a codificação de linguagem.
So as Anna mentioned, we always start on this blocks way of programming instead of going directly to the coding part.
Então, nessa ferramenta, nós podemos conectar o Arduino.
Well, on this tool, it's possible to connect Arduino.
E realizar o controle, por exemplo, do LED usando os blocos.
And it's possible to control the LED light on Arduino using the blocks.
Da mesma forma que teríamos as funções lá no outro código. Então, primeiro eu vou mostrar com os blocos e depois eu vou mostrar com as linhas de código.
It works the same way for both these blocks and for the code itself. Archimedes is going to show us first how it works with the blocks and then using the code.
Then the forever block is the same of the void loop. Then forever is the loop, and when the space k preset, the code starts. Then if I click on the stop sign, stop everything the code. But nothing works because I don't put the code here. Then in the tab in the motion tab, I can select the digital on. 13 I change to 10 because I put the pin on the digital 10. Okay. Then I put the digital on. If now I press space, oh, the light turns on. But if I stop, the light remains on because I don't have a command to turn off. Then I put the digital off. If I press space, the yellow LED is off. But I don't see the lights changing between on and off because the time is very, very shorter. Then I put the wait and I can see the light blinking. Júlia, tô me expressando mais ou menos?
Aham, tá dando para entender tudo. Pode continuar. Uhum. Manda bala aí.
Essa câmera? Mas tá nessa câmera. Tá. Okay. Then we can see the LEDs, the LED blinking. Okay. Eu ia mostrar. Não, então já posso. But if isso foi só uma pequena amostra do que o Arduino pode fazer. Como a gente já está com já está com o tempo mais adiantado, eu vou levantar uma questão. E se eu não tivesse um Arduino, como eu daria uma aula de robótica? Ou se eu não tivesse computador, como eu daria uma aula de robótica?
This was only like a sample on what the possibilities are. And now Archimedes is asking us a question. If he didn't have an Arduino and if he didn't have a computer, how would it be possible to teach robotics?
Ou como eu poderia acender um LED se eu não tivesse o computador e o Arduino?
Or how could be turn on a LED light if he didn't have the Arduino or a computer?
Posso já te... Eu vou narrando? Ana, agora a Ana Paula vai mostrar para vocês como fazer uma massa de modelar que permite a condução da eletricidade.
Anna is going to show us how to get Play-Doh to conduct electricity.
E depois ela vai mostrar também uma que não conduz eletricidade.
And how to make the other type which doesn't conduct electricity.
Ela colocou farinha de trigo em uma bacia.
It's regular flour that we use to bake.
Agora ela pegou um copo de vinagre e colocou o corante.
Now she got some vinegar and put some regular food colorant on it.
E misturou na farinha para que as crianças possam perceber a diferença das duas massas de modelar. E para ficar divertido.
She put the color on it just to make it fun and for the kids to be able to see the difference between the both doughs or Play-Dohs,
A
and to
ideia,
make it fun.
a ideia é parecer que que as crianças estejam cozinhando em casa com a família, com os amigos.
The idea is to, pretend that kids are just cooking at home or with their friends to make it more fun.
Agora ela misturou sal de cozinha na água e vai colocar na massa.
Now she's got water and in which she put salt, and then she's mixing everything together.
O sal é que vai fazer a massa de modelar se tornar condutiva.
It's the salt which is gonna make the Play-Doh conduct electricity.
Então, pode ser abordado o aspecto no ensino médio, pode ser abordado aspectos de íons e camada de valência das substâncias.
So when working with high school students, we can relate it to chemistry, ions, and all that part of what we teach at school.
Aí a Ana Paula colocou óleo de soja, um óleo vegetal, pode ser de milho, de canola.
She added some oil. Here she used soy oil, but any type can be used.
E colocar os alunos para colocar a mão na massa. Ela vai pôr um pouco mais de farinha para dar ponto.
And it's always nice to have the students take part on this process, put them to really, do it themselves.
E então a massa agora está pronta.
Now it's ready.
E a gente já vai poder ligar um circuito com ela.
And we're going to be able to work on the circuit with this dough.
A massa, para economizar o tempo, a Ana Paula já preparou a massa isolante.
Anna has already prepared the other dough. And she's going to show them the difference.
Agora a Ana Paula vai medir a resistência usando um ohmímetro. Ela vai medir a resistência. Isso.
O Ark, esses nomes aí em inglês, eu não sei. Ela vai medir. Now she's going to measure the resistance.
The resistance. And the conductive. Essa é a massa de modelar condutiva. Azul é condutiva.
The blue is conductive.
Agora ela vai medir a isolante.
Now she's going to measure the
insulated.
Isolated one.
The red is insulated. Deu mais. Não, deu menor resistência. 0,7. Ok, vamos testar. Vamos ligar agora. Agora a gente vai ligar o circuito com uma bateria.
Now the circuit will be turned on with a battery.
Aí, opa. Uma simples bateria de 9 volts, battery block. A ideia é que os alunos possam montar bichinhos, brinquedos, o que eles quiserem para que fique mais divertido e que tenha um significado, né, na vida deles.
The idea is that the students can play with it, modeling animals or whatever they want, but something that makes sense for them and for their lives.
Só colocar. Uhum. Não, tá bom. Eu puxo mais. Maior aqui. You can see the light is on. And pode pôr outros também. Põe um verde também. Agora a Ana Paula vai colocar um verde também, para a gente ver como é que fica. Um vermelho, vai fazer uma sequência de...
Now Anna is adding other colors of light so that we can, make it more fun.
Então, é possível discutir conceitos de circuito elétrico e de uma maneira bem simples, integrando com outros conhecimentos, como os conhecimentos culinários e os conhecimentos de química.
So it's possible to teach and show many different subjects and concepts on using this experiment.
E envolvendo os aspectos culturais, principalmente, para valorizar a realidade de cada aluno.
And also involving cultural aspects so that it shows and it's visible for each and every student, no matter their cultural background.
Posso abrir a câmera então? Okay. Agora eu vou devolver a palavra para Ana Paula. Muito obrigado pela atenção de vocês. Até mais.
Archimedes is going to, Anna is going to take over. Archimedes thanks everyone very much for their attention and their time.
Minha mão tá nem quase suja, não suja quase nada.
Her hands are not even dirty because it doesn't really make a mess.
O que a gente queria propor para vocês é de que não existe limite. Esse empoderamento do professor e dos alunos, ele precisa acontecer.
What we wanted to propose is that there are absolutely no limits for the empowerment of teachers and students. It has to happen for this to work, for this situation to,
A ideia é trabalharmos projetos que se integram o STEAM e que se integra principalmente à cultura de cada local, valorizando cada aluno, valorizando a cultura de cada sociedade.
The idea is to work on integrated project with STEAM, and especially with projects which work with cultural and particularities of each and every culture where this is taught.
Bom, era isso. Claro que aí a gente pode explorar um monte de coisa. Com a massa de modelar, a gente pode fazer um piano para tocar músicas, explorar bastante ideias com os alunos.
This is what Anna wanted to show. Using the Play-Doh, it's possible to even build a piano where it's possible to play. So there are many, many options which can come from this.
A ideia do Dr. Henry, eu penso que seja excelente da gente montar uma plataforma e essa troca de experiências e trocar e mais informações sobre o assunto, penso que é muito viável.
Dr. Henry mentioned the possibility of us having a platform to communicate and exchange these ideas with each other. So Anna is, highlighting this possibility that more information could be exchanged after this forum is finished.
Bom, e aí eu e o Arquimedes estamos aqui para tirar dúvidas, para contribuições.
They're both available for any questions or anything that everybody needs.
Any questions? Let's give them a hand. It's amazing. This was amazing.
Thank you.
See my team in Cameroon. Look at them. They're so excited in the background. All right. Any questions? All right. No questions, I see. But Ana Paula, as Ana Paula have said, there's many more lessons that they can offer. And I will be sending out details on how the structure of classes and things, if people are interested in more of the similar lessons from Ana Paula and Archimedes. Since you don't have questions, I do have some questions before, let's see. Lisa was not able to stay long, so I am going to be in charge again. Give me a moment, let me find my... So many things going on my screen here. All right, so we could, since we're a small group, if anybody wants to just jump on and answer any of these questions, just pick one and tackle. I know sometimes it's a bit hard to know which question to answer or to ask a question in a situation like this, but just looking at the questions right here, anybody would like to answer any of these questions? We could keep a little bit more of a communication around the topic. What did you learn, for example? What was your main takeaway from the lesson that Ana Paula have taught? Anybody can go. Can you hear me?
Okay, Dr. Ruth, can I come in?
Yes, please. No, go ahead.
Okay. The key takeaway that I can take away from Anna Paula's demonstration is, in the absence of electricity, what other alternative is there that I can make use of in order to get the lighting? That is the one takeaway that I've learned from the demonstration of Anna Paula. In the absence of electricity, what is the other alternative? And I think it's quite practical. I think it's something that we can do at our schools. That is the one interesting thing that I can take from this demonstration. Thank you. I submit.
Thank you so much. Anybody else? I did like the practicality also. It was when Anna Paula said she was teaching this, I sent out the information, but I said to myself, I don't think I can understand any of this stuff. But the last part made it really fun, really easy to understand. And I think that that's something that is not limited to people that are in the sciences or the STEM department. Anybody could actually do that last step as long as they have the material. And their materials are quite easy to find. So yeah, thank you so much, Anna Paula. All right, I am going to stop share. So we had plenty of time scheduled for today, but we have exhausted all our programming for the day, and I would not want to keep you here if you don't need to be here. So I want to give you a big thank you for coming out today and for participating and for the great conversations that we had. This video is going to go out, and you can try and do what Anna Paula just taught us. So that's the exciting part. Even though our numbers might be small, there's a lot of people that get these videos that we record while we're here. So thank you again for letting me record, and thank you for letting your voice go across your messages in your discussions, in your contributions. So we're all learning from each other. It's not one speaker. So every contribution you make, somebody is going to learn from it. And our website is Africa Leads. Let's see if I could share my screen again and show you. So if you go on africaleads.net, you will see all of, not every single one, but you will see most of the videos so far. And the last two will be updated as soon as possible. So feel free to go on the website, check out the videos of past forums and familiarize yourself, learn from it. I go back every now and then, I watch the videos and I always learn something new. So these forums are really powerful in that regard. That is, if you want to learn, there's always something to learn. And moving forward, there will be opportunities for paid partnerships. For example, Anna Paula is doing this today, but she's not always going to do it for free because that's her job. So there will be opportunities for partnerships, for paid, these trainings to be paid. You can reach me, or you can ask for Dr. Archimedes and Anna Paula's number, and I will be able to share their information with you so that you could organize a one-on-one training with them. So at this point, like I was saying earlier, we have about over 300 participants in our roster. Not everybody shows up at the same time. So people come at different times at different forums, but at least 15% of the people views the emails, open the email at different times. So the goal is to keep growing. The more people we can reach, the more collaborations, the more valuable information like the ones we have shared today, we will be able to share. We will not be able to learn or know who is out there if we don't connect, if we don't invite others. So invite other people so we can learn from more people. That collective intelligence is very important in solving issues that are bigger than us. I am hoping that we will reconnect again in August or at the end of August or September, but an email will go out with the information that we need that you would need to sign up just the same way. After this, I will maybe within the next 2 or 3 days, I will get this video out, and I will also send more resources. A list of all the resources that we have also will be on that email. I will send to you the website again if you want. If you look at the bottom of the emails that I always have, there is the website. So always click on the email I send at the bottom and you will see the website on it. Lastly, did somebody have a question? No. So lastly, hello? Yes, I can hear you.
Ana Paula can show the another combination of the circuit. The Ana Paula can show another example.
Oh, are we up for it?
Oh.
Yes, go ahead.
Ok. Agora ela colocou. The red is insulated Play-Doh. The light is very low. It's the difference between the two. Conductive, this blue. Insulated is the red. It's just justice. Thank you.
Excellent. Oh, wow. Thank you for showing us that difference. Thank you for showing us that difference. Yeah, I think this is going to be such an exciting video to go back and watch and actually maybe try some of these things at home. Like I said, this is one of the things that you say, try at home. So, so if anybody have any final comments, any final thoughts before we go? No, that's it then, people. Thank you so much. Please, let's give Ana Paula and Timid a big hand again. Thank you. This was amazing. Thank you so much. And I'm hoping that by August, I might be able to start sharing my my work with all of you. So in the near, at least this forum, next forum or the next one, I will be able to share my parts of my dissertation with you and my cultural integration model, and maybe give a little bit of a workshop on how you could integrate culture in your systems, whether it's a classroom or your business or just in your life in general. All right. Thank you. Yes?
I need to say grateful for Julia translated.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, Julia.
Oh, yes. With Julia, please. Sorry that I didn't acknowledge you before, but I want to say thank you so much. Cross-cultural collaboration is not possible without translators. So thank you very, very much. Thank you.
It's a pleasure, guys. Ana and Archimedes are good friends of mine. And I was a teacher for Ana and for her daughter. So it's always good to be here.
Thank you. Come anytime. You're welcome anytime.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for the invite.
All right. Okay. I will see all of you next time. You have my number. I will send you an email If you have consulting jobs, I am out of school, I'm a student, I'm no longer a student, so send me some work. I appreciate if you know any job, send them my way. I need to make money and pay those debts. So that is my next chapter. Yes, Denise understands. We just both graduated, so she understands. So I'm giving you my love, and I just want to thank you so much. Thank you so much. This was a great session, and I look forward to the next one. Please bring your friends. Bring your friends. All right. Bye, everybody.